Hello. I think this is starting. Okay. Hello, everybody. I think I am live. I obviously don't do this very often. Hello. Hello. Okay. So I'm just on here tonight. Okay. I think it's live. I think we're good. Yep. 20 seconds in of me babbling. Perfect. Okay. Hello, everyone. So I'm doing this live tonight purely because we are talking about the 60 Strong Challenge. So all of you got that email in your inbox Monday night, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm just here to talk about it tonight, and I'm gonna see if anyone kind of starts to view as we go. Hey, hi, Mitchell. Hello. Of course, Mitchell's watching. Um, Awesome, cool. And now this comment thing actually works for me in my life. I feel like I've done this in the past and nothing ever worked. So, um, awesome. And while I'm waiting for people, real quick, look how funny my mug is. Isn't this cute? I mean, it's not very appropriate, but it's what it is. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about the 60 Strong Challenge, what it is, what to expect from it, when you can do it, all these different things. So number one, you got your email about 60 Strong Monday night at 7 p.m. So if you haven't seen it, go look for it. It's in your inbox. And in that email, it has the entire PDF of everything you ever need to know about this challenge. So, what is it? It is a challenge that will last for 60 days to really just get you staying accountable towards your goals and being a healthier person through 5 different categories of what we have found really makes a healthier human being. Not only on the physical side, but like mentally, emotionally. Mindset's going to become a really big thing in this challenge as we go. Hi, Cole. Mitchell's ready to get fit. Oh, okay. So perfect. Mitchell put in the comments the PDF link, which is great. So I have found that my secret talent is making PDFs, so it was very fun. And in that PDF, if you want to follow along, in there it gives you a rundown of what it is. So, like I was saying, it is a mindset challenge, really, first and foremost, because you have to accomplish one thing from each of the 5 categories every single day. Now, if this sounds familiar, it should, because it's our version of challenges like 75 Hard. And 75 Hard is when you do hard things for 75 days. It is very specific things that you have to do each and every day. You have to check it off. And if you miss any of them, you have to start back over to day one. I know, super fun. So, with that, we don't want anybody to fail, right? We want everyone to be set up for success no matter where you are coming from in your health journey. And so to do that, we made menus in that PDF, a nutrition menu, a movement menu, a sleep menu, and a education menu, and then lastly a connectivity menu, right? So this menu has all these different options of what you can choose to do each and every day. So the difference with 75 Hard and 60 Strong is 60 Strong, you have flexibility and variability. If you're a person that gets really bored of sticking to the same diet all the time, or maybe just you need variety in your life, and sometimes life just happens and you're just barely trying to make it through the day, this challenge is really going to work in making sure that you just hit one of those things towards those 5 areas of your health. Because ultimately, if we aren't working towards our health each and every day, we're falling behind the curve. And I think a lot of us tend to be over givers, whether you're a parent or a friend, a coworker, whatever it may be. And we forget to take care of ourselves, myself included. Like everyone can be guilty of that. So these menus just give you like, okay, look, I am struggling today. Can I just get something done? And look, on nutrition, if you just drank half your body weight in ounces of water that day, check, done. Great. So speaking of checks, at the bottom of that PDF, there is a tracker for all 60 days. So every time you mark off something in that category, you can literally just check it off. If you join the Facebook group, the 60 Strong Challenge Facebook group that I put in the members group earlier today. You can just click that link. If you go in there, I believe Andrea Short, she put an app, I think it's called Good Notes, where you can literally upload any tracker and you can just check it off and it'll color it in for you, which is super handy and nifty. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. But definitely join the Facebook group, because with that, we're gonna like make it a whole archive, a whole library of sharing recipes that people come up with, because one of the things on the nutrition menu is try a new recipe if you want to do that. We want to be able to share books, so also in that PDF, we even put Strong Side's favorite books. And so what we did is we asked the team members, what are your favorite self-development books? And we gave you a list and the links in that PDF to go check them out. Cole, if you're still watching, I did put Atomic Habits on there because it's our jam. Let's see, I have new comments. Great. So that's all on there. Go check it out, because in one of those categories, the education category, there's different ways to just educate yourself on anything that you're interested in or passionate about. Literally anything. Just learn. Cool. Because like when we learn, we grow our brains. When you grow your brain, you're a healthier person, you know? So all of these things are coming together, and it's just to be a healthier you. And that accountability part comes in, because if you miss one, you got to start over to day one. So it's going to kind of keep you on track for 60 days. You know, and when you're planning it, so our plan is on Monday, this Monday, August 22nd, we're all going to do it together, right? I'm going to do it as well. Like I have a goal myself for the nutrition aspect of it. Rather than picking different things every day, for myself, like I know I do a lot of those right now, I want to challenge myself to only eat foods that do not have added sugar. Dr. Andrew St. Bernard at Corrective Chiropractic did that for his 75 hard when he did it. I thought that was really cool. So I'm going to eat foods, if I ever eat processed food, nothing with added sugar. It has to be naturally occurring. So I can still eat fruit and vegetables, and if it has sugar in it, cool. But nothing like, if you start reading nutrition labels, you know, sometimes it'll say added sugar total and it's X amount of grams, and it's in like everything. So I started reading that and I was like, oh man. So that's my challenge for myself. But no matter where you're at, you can do whatever you want to. If you want to stick to paleo, stick to paleo. If you want to just go off of those little habits and just get started towards something and maybe change it up every day, do that. Just hit something. And so that's going to be the cool thing about this challenge that I'm really excited about. And so, sorry, I got sidetracked. Monday, we're all going to do it together. Well, now, while that's really awesome, just be mindful. Like, this is not a challenge that you have to sign up for. It's completely free. That's why we just made it all in a PDF, because this is literally something that we're going to hang on to in Strong Side forever. It's something like 75 Hard where you can do it whenever you want to. So this is going to be a cyclical thing. So maybe you do it this time around and you crush those 60 days, you take a little bit of a break, and then maybe you're ready for another challenge. And this challenge shows the potential of how you can always level up. Like, for example, like I know I drink, you know, all my water that I need to. I eat 2 servings of vegetables every day. Like, I'm good on that and a lot of those things. But I always find ways to challenge myself, even as a nutrition coach. Like, there are plenty of things I can do better. And that's how we can keep leveling up all the time. And this challenge just gives you those guidelines and structure to be your best self. And there's no one else that's watching you do it. It's really all about you here. And that's where that mindset comes in, because it's challenging against yourself every day. It's that discipline and honestly the responsibility in taking care of yourself, because if you don't do it, no one else will. And with these menus, that's why we wanted to make it extremely broad, because everyone needs to take care of themselves in different ways. Everyone has different needs. So for example, like with the movement menu, obviously you'll see like the Strong Side 60 class, Strong Side 45 class, even the Strong Side yoga class or whatever. But maybe some days you can't make it into the gym. Or maybe you need like a serious active recovery day, and you just can only go for a walk. Maybe you're traveling and you just need to like pull from the spring break guide that we made a while ago. That link is also in there. You know, we want to give you all the tools just to move however you need to. Again, it's what works for you. It's not anything like you have to go sprint every single day and go super stinking hard, because your body's not meant to do that every single day. So just move what feels good. Stretching counts, all those things. Um, and one of my, in talking about just the different categories, I'm really excited about the connectivity one. And this is a really broad one, because connectivity is really, there's different areas where it's like, go, drink a cup of coffee with a friend at the Strong Side Club, or maybe it's you call or text or FaceTime somebody you haven't spoken to in a while. Or maybe it's even like connecting with your partner at the end of the day for 15 minutes and just getting some sort of connection every single day. You can get really creative with these different things. But I recognize too that not everyone is a very social person. You may not always want to go introduce yourself to a stranger if you're a little bit of an introvert. And like I am most of the time, which is cool. So, for example, one of the things on there for connectivity is you also need to make sure you're connecting with yourself. I think we forget to do a little bit of a body analysis scan most of the time. And so some options on there is, doing a meditation or prayer every day. If that's your jam, then you do those sorts of things. Or maybe you don't and you want to try it, and that's an option. Try it sometime. But it's you connecting with you. And then another thing on there in terms of like just connecting with yourself is setting an intention for your day. So, for example, like in my phone, in my notes, I write today's intentions and I give myself 2 to 3 main goals to really focus on. Even though I have a million things I need to work on, I set my intention for the day of what I need to accomplish for it to be a win for me, and that I know it will work for me. And again, that even can be a connectivity thing where you're connecting with what you need that day to feel successful. So lots of variety here. And again, set yourself up for success with this challenge. And a lot of our coaches are doing it. I'm doing it, obviously. And we'll be able to check in with each other. Like another part of the connectivity thing is going onto the Facebook group and doing an accountability check-in. Let everyone know where you're at and how you're doing, what struggles you're facing every day. If asking for help. I want this to be a whole archive and support place for when you have questions. If you want to recommend a book or an article or a podcast you listened to along the way that you thought was really cool, share it. This is why we have a community, to share ways to grow and be your best self. So I'm super excited. Howdy, Christy. See that you're watching. Oh, cool. And Mitchell put the Facebook group in the comments to go ahead and join that if you haven't already. So thank you, Mitchell. He's like my little assistant on this call. This is wonderful. So Monday we're starting it all together, but remember you can do it whenever you'd like to. And we're just going to crush it. That's really it. It's just 60 days of hitting those 5 different categories every single day in big waves or small waves, whatever you can do just to keep yourself moving and moving forward. Because those 1% differences every single day, even if they're little, go a really long way. I think you'll be surprised at where you're at in 60 days. And something that's not a requirement, but something I'm definitely going to recommend and put into the Facebook group itself is no matter what your goals are with this, number one, let's say it's weight loss, right? Or maybe you have like some body image goals or whatever it may be. I would encourage you to add other goals along the way too. I wouldn't think of it as just a physical goal. Like movement is one of the categories, but there's 4 other ones that are also really important. And nutrition obviously helps with that too, but notice how there's other things like sleep in there. Sleep's going to be a big one. And I feel like the most challenging because we get really stubborn around sleep. So it's doing those little things like putting your phone across the room or like turning it off 30 minutes before bed goes a really long way. For example, if you don't trust me, Matt Fraser, who won all the freaking CrossFit games ever, in one of his top 5 tips for sleep is he puts his phone away, I think, 90 minutes before bed every single night. He doesn't have to go to bed, but he does put his phone down at 8 o'clock, and so for the next 90 minutes, he has to go do something else that does not involve blue light. Okay, so like, it goes a really long way with your body, with your hormones, and with just your mood every day. So that's also extremely important if we start talking about even not only physical goals, because sleep has a huge impact on that, but even your mental health. when we're not getting enough sleep, our body and brain can't recover. So little things like that will go just transform you inside and out, and that's the whole point. So even when we're going to these things like mindset, taking the education part and the connectivity part really seriously, and those are going to be challenging too. Just to make you a better friend, coworker, parent, mom, sister, dad, spouse, dog mom. I think Ellie's behind me somewhere. But anyway, okay. So I'm super pumped. Ooh, cool. Oh gosh, I don't want to end this. No. What is? Okay, let's see. I'm connecting with the. Cool. They don't call. Okay. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments here. Thanks, Philip. My favorite book from the list on the PDF and why? Good question. Okay, so I put a few on there, but one that I put on there in particular is called Body Kindness. And it sounds pretty frou-frou. I know it does. So everyone's going to make fun of me for that. But it's a completely different perspective in how to approach food and how to approach your body when you have these big goals in front of you. So, for example, so it's written by a dietitian. And I think also a registered nurse. I think she went registered nurse to dietitian and then complete wellness coach because there was such a disconnect in all those different jobs in her career. And she found that so many people were coming to her and they talked to her like they were disgusted with themselves. Like, oh, I have to get this weight off. I'm just disgusting. Like, I have to get rid of all this. Like, I want to be better. And like, it's all of those negative feelings that we're not correcting the mindset in order to move forward in their goals, in their wellness goals at all. And so it's starting from the root problem of transforming the way you look at yourself in all parts of the journey. Because if you hate yourself along the way, the journey's not going to be any fun. Newsflash, And so if you start in the beginning of coming from a place of grace and kindness to yourself, which is a concept I think is really difficult nowadays. If you watch the way you talk to yourself every day, you start to realize it sometimes. And it's starting at that root problem. And because when you start to do things out of kindness and love for yourself, like example, this challenge, I'm not doing this challenge to punish myself for 60 days. I'm doing this challenge because I love myself enough to know that I have more potential and I want to see how far I can go. And I know I'm capable of more. And so that book is really those types of concepts, like just positive mindset psychology, and how to approach difficult tasks, because you don't always feel like going to the gym. You don't always feel like eating broccoli, like at all. So this book really talks about how to do like upward spirals. You've all heard of downward spirals, like when you're having a terrible day and everything's going wrong, and how to start flipping that switch and start doing an upward spiral of, because negativity follows negativity, but positivity will also follow positivity. So it's flipping that around. So it's a great mindset book. It's an interesting way on how you want to approach food if you struggle with that, how to approach fitness if you struggle with that, rather than looking at things as punishment, but looking at things as a way of self-love. Man or woman, no matter what age you're at, it's really important in all aspects. So super excited about that book if you care to read it. Mitchell asked, I'm interested in doing this for the nutrition piece. I saw it on the PDF. Can you give me some advice on where to get this food or do it? Majority of the food eaten today once had a mother. It came from the ground. Great question. Okay. I'm going to talk about this tea in a second. It's a part of my sleep thing. So that one in particular with food, once having a mother or coming from the ground. What does that mean? It means it's a whole food. It means that there is no ingredient list on that food. So, for example, if you go buy broccoli, there's no nutrition label most of the time. It just says broccoli. If it says anything else besides broccoli on your broccoli, you should be very afraid. Okay? It's not supposed to work like that. That means it came straight from the ground, and that's the way Mother Nature intended it to be, and that's how our body knows it. And therefore, it takes the information and does beautiful things. Done. Same with protein. So things like salmon or chicken or whatever your protein may be. Okay, all of those things once had a mother. Okay, so it's a little morbid to look at it that way, but it's a whole food. It has not been tampered with. It has not been processed in a factory, and that's the goal. It's the way Mother Nature intended it. It's the way our bodies know how to process information. Because whatever you consume, it's just information. All food, no good or bad. I'm not even labeling anything right now. All of it is information. So when your body takes in that information, it tells it to do something with it. So a donut has very different information than salmon. Two totally different products. And your body will take those two different products and do what that information tells it to do with it. So, for example, a donut will tell your body, oh, that's a lot of sugar. Let's raise all the insulin. With salmon, no insulin because there's no sugar. So it's all that different information that our body uses. And so that's why I like to talk about the quality of your food. So when you give it less ingredients to process that don't sound like they're from Star Trek and that you can pronounce, you know what I'm talking about. When you look at the box and you can't pronounce any of the 50 ingredients that are on there, sounds like it's from Spock or whatever. And yeah, if you don't know what it is, guess what? Your body doesn't know what it is either. So that's a great way to start guiding your nutrition element to pure whole foods that have not been tampered with and that are just the way we were supposed to eat them. Simple as that. Like cavemen. So crush it, Mitchell. Go get that one. Let's see. Hi, Amanda. You're awesome. Thank you. Amanda said, if you don't have a good night's sleep, should you nap to catch up on lost sleep or just do better the next night? Will either option produce better recovery? Great question. So there's a lot of studies being done on this right now, and I think it does depend on the person and the variability of it. So there's something called sleep debt, and when you're looking at something like if you are sleep deprived, let's say you're only getting 6 hours a night, really anything less than 7, you're definitely sleep deprived, whether you feel good or not. And when it comes to sleep and naps, if you want to optimize it, I'm always a huge fan in the beginning. If you can try and hold out until you get some rest, right? Until you get to your sleep portion of the night and you're like, I'd rather you have a full 7-8 hours. Because it's normally the amount of time that your body needs to fully recover. All of the beauty bits, so all of the muscle tears that you do during the day, and even your brain actually fills up with toxins and fluid throughout the day. And so when you go to sleep, it actually flushes out all of those toxins. It's literally like turning on the dishwasher at night before you go to bed. Same thing for your brain. And it needs that amount of time at night to do that. It's actually a very busy time for your body to get everything back in order. So I would love for you to try and aim for the deeper sleep at night. And there's different tactics to be able to get a deeper night's sleep. For example, on the sleep menu in that PDF, I wrote out quite a few things just to establish a good nighttime routine. So the more consistent we are with our sleep, the better. So if you make a commitment to yourself to always go to bed by 10 p.m. and wake up at the same time every day, your body follows that rhythm. We're creatures of habit. Everybody is. So when we are more consistent with that rhythm, our body has better trust and actually regulates your hormones better and does so many other things with your metabolism. Now, let's say you had a crappy night's sleep. A lot of you are parents, and sometimes a kid wakes up in the middle of the night and pukes. It's cool. So you're up, right? And so the next day you're dragging, right? And 2 p.m. especially. Like today, for example, I don't ever take naps. But today I was so exhausted. I was like, I have to sleep, right? So I actually took a nap. And now when you do have to take a nap and you're at that point where like, I'm not going to make it. This is the end. There's ways to optimize it. So there are studies done in the way that your body goes through waves in your sleep patterns. So going from 30 minutes or 90 minutes is the ideal amount of time to take a nap. based on the typical wave pattern of your circadian rhythm when you are sleeping. So 30 minutes is right enough to not hit a deep sleep where you're going to feel really groggy afterwards, typically. Now, 60 minutes and an hour, for a full hour, usually you're hitting that deep sleep part just for a second. And that's usually why we wake up groggier than when we went to sleep. Now, that's why the 90-minute mark is the next ideal step. So if you go from 30 minutes to 90 minutes, because you have passed through that deep sleep part of the wave, and you're usually on the upswing of when you actually feel rejuvenated. So I would experiment with that and see what your body calls to. But I always am a big fan of trying to push it. Just try and make it to bedtime. Go to bed early. It's okay. But otherwise, start coming up with a proper sleep routine and make it consistent. And like, for example, this has become a new part of my thing. That's what I was going to talk about. This tea, y'all, I don't know if it's a tea. It's like a latte. Just warmed up almond milk and 2 teaspoons of like this cinnamon, turmeric, coconut milk goodness thing. And I've been drinking it every night before bed, just sipping on it. And I sleep so nicely. Feel very nice and calm. It's not too sweet. It's not too savory. It's just like a nice little, like, calm drink. I'm drinking out of a cute mug that says, "Don't be a prick." So anyway, yeah, that's my biggest tip about sleep on that one. I hope that helps, Amanda. Okay, and Mitchell had a question for the movement section. 1, it says to stretch before checking my phone in the morning. How long do I stretch for? So answer that one first. I would say stretch. So this is just to get something, and we're aiming for 45 minutes of movement a day, every day. And this can start to be a part of that, what you accumulate, right? If that's all you can get in, if you have a choppy day, like be strategic. And if you can only get short spurts in, this can be a part of it. So rather than going straight to your phone when you wake up to check Instagram and all the things that happened at 2 a.m., instead, if you just get on the floor and start stretching your body, if you just do it even for 5 to 10 minutes, which is usually the amount of time we sit staring at our phone when we first wake up, actually getting in tune with your body and seeing where you're sore from all the workouts that you're doing, and just seeing what your body's telling you to do that day. Stretching on the ground, like some of my favorites is to target the low back and my hamstrings in particular, because fun fact, most people have low back pain because they have really tight hamstrings. Why? Because they are sitting, like I am, in a desk chair all day long. So I always love to try and stretch out my hips, my hamstrings, my low back. So I do a lot of movements of just laying on the floor, which is pretty convenient. Just don't fall asleep, okay? Because we just went from that movement to then sitting on the floor and laying down. Don't fall asleep. Just keep moving. But I would stretch about 5 to 10 minutes in the morning just to wake up all those big muscle groups. And then doing some like neck stretches. There's some beautiful things on YouTube that we can give references for in the Facebook group. I'll definitely share those. Some like good morning stretches to get your day started. I bet you feel more awake afterwards. Second part, he asked, just to be clear, if I go on a walk during my lunch break or anything else on the PDF, my workout activity must be at least 45 minutes. Correct. So like I said, we're aiming for 40. I say aiming for, please just make it 45 minutes a day. And like I said, that can accumulate. So if you did 10 minutes of stretching in the morning and then you have a spotty day, like maybe you can get, 5 minutes in between, meetings. You can do some squats or something. Just make it accumulated every single day. Or you can just knock it out at the 45 class or the 60 class, whatever you want to do. Let's see. Answered that one. Beautiful. Okay. Great questions, y'all. Those are great. Okay. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I hope I answered a lot of questions. I hope you're excited. I'm really excited about it because I know I can do this challenge again whenever I want to. So I can always have, I like things where I can level up and keep improving. And that's definitely something for this. If you want to hear more about just like mindset shifting and understanding that side of things more as well. Amanda, I was combining two words. Amber Christofferson did an amazing job, is what I was trying to say, on the podcast with us on Spotify. And she spoke with me about when she did 75 Hard, her version of a long challenge like that, and just how much of a mindset shift it was for her. And it's really amazing. Like, just because you're growing your brain too, and what she is now going to go off and do just because she committed to 75 days and accomplished it. And it's amazing what you're capable of if you just do little 1% changes. And if you choose you every single day, you can really go really far. And she proved that. So I'm really, really excited about this challenge. I hope you are too. If you have any questions, please reach out. Most of y'all have my number. If you don't, message me on Facebook, shoot me an email, Brianna at the-strongside.com, or just come see me in the gym. I am coaching in the AM, so I better see you all at 5:15. All right, team. Let's see. Hold on. Oh wait, I know this isn't a contest, but how do I beat Nate Velasquez? I don't know, Mitchell. You just gotta hit all the things every day. Just be super fit, and you can only work your leg muscles if you want to beat Nate, because you gotta catch up to all his squat power. Okay. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful night. I will see you all later. So have a beautiful night. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll crush 60 strong. All right. See y'all.